How's it, guys? What's up, Zeems, my boy? How are you guys doing? Hope we all had a good weekend. How's it, Luke? How are you doing? Troy, what's up? You in the GJ cell? Just gotta be careful of that trend. It's the reason I didn't take this sell is because it is counter trend in my opinion, but it did do the retests. Alessandro, what's up? It did retest the zone, so in technical terms, it's a perfect setup because it basically broke the support level over here and then retested it over here and then formed some weak bullish support, and now we've gone and broken that, but counter trend, so just be careful. Other than that, good setup. Gold's playing around in a range. I'm looking for sells above this level just because it's our highest resistance at this point. We do have obviously this rejection wick over here, which we need to be careful of, but we have nice clean candles to the left above that point if we manage to push through this area over here. How's the weather in CT? Quite a nice day today actually. Sunny. Apparently rain's coming though. Not much summer weather. Can't complain too much though. News-wise today, guys, we don't have much going on. Very low impact news. As you can see here, we have some pound news, but it's, you know, yellow folder, and yellow folder doesn't really do much. And then, I don't know, we had this yen news. So there was actually a lot of GJ news today, just the week. Tomorrow is a little bit more high impact stuff on the dollar. So PPI, that's going to move gold quite a lot. Historically, it has done so. So just be wary of that if you are trading gold or think you are trading gold. It's raining here by me. It's meant to be summer. We're having this weather. I will do a full breakdown now of GJ and all that. GJ and Mr. Sellers. That happened at 6. Just be careful not to overtrade Azeems. Don't hop into too many trades. Okay, I'll do a full breakdown of this, of GJ for you guys. So we'll start off on the weekly. So we actually ended up respecting this weekly support level, which we had at previous stages. So obviously, I've been talking about this for a while now, all these rejections, and we end up forming another support at this level. What that means technically is when we break this weekly support level, we should come up to this weekly resistance level. That's just how price works, and it's something you see over and over again. And a weekly support, as we know, unless we break now the low of this weekly support, a weekly support is an extremely strong level, one of the strongest levels. So we obviously need to keep in mind we have the weekly support which is formed, and our weekly structure is bullish. Then we drop down to a daily time frame. Our daily structure is still bullish. It's been so for quite a while until we get below this area over here and close below it, which we haven't managed to do so. So that is bullish as well. And on Friday we formed this weekly support, this daily support level, and we're kind of in this daily rejection level right here, as well as this daily range over here. But as you know, within daily ranges, you can definitely find entries to take trades on lower time frames. So bullish structure on the daily, as well as a bullish, as well as Friday being a bullish candle. So daily support formed. Then we drop down to the 4 hour, quite choppy as you can see. This is when you see that daily range start like setting up on the lower time frames. So we are currently, this was our low, which we had formed, point which created the low. This is our new area, our new high basically. until we get under here, so we're bullish as well on the 4 hours, so that's already a 3v0 bullish bias. And resistance wise, as you can see, we formed a resistance here on the 4 hour, which was the 4 o'clock candle, and then so we haven't really got a relevant 4 hour support, so we're gonna have to drop down to lower time frames to find that. We also have this area which we can try and come up to if we do get like 4 hour candle close above this area over here. So we'll drop down to a 30-minute time frame, and that's where you can see where we've started forming some minor support levels. We did obviously have this support level over here, which you would have had marked out, and then we have this area to come up to over here. If we get above that 4 hour resistance level, it's not a huge amount of range, but it is a little bit. And then if we want to carry on bearish, which is going to be counter trend, we can come down to this level over here because of the clean candles. But if you're working out just a trend on the 30 minutes, you would say that this is your low over here. This is the point which created the low. So now this is your high, point which created the high. This is your new low, point which created the low. So we broke above here, point which created that high. And then as you can see, we just continually created new highs. So we were bullish, and now this is where you would take into consideration the newest high. And then this is the point which created the latest high, so we'll be bearish below this area over here. So that gives us our 4v0 bearish, bullish structure. So if you are in sells, seems, be wary. We are counter trend trading. And I'll just type in, as usual, our areas of gonna close in some profits. What you can do if you want to just be safe about it is trail your stop loss so that you're not losing as much as you originally planned out to do. That way you can give your trade a chance to play out, but you're just minimizing your risk. Leave a run and stop loss at break even. Yeah, you can do that, but like I said, if you want to maybe close half of your position, that way you're only risking half of what you had originally done, and you are securing some profits along the way. So that is definitely an option. You're getting a nice push now, so you should be up a little bit if you took the early entries. And you also need to take into consideration that in 20 minutes we have London Open. And London Open, if we get a strong push bearish, you can definitely get down to this point over here, but that's where I'm going to be looking for buys, down at the lows, because we're in that upward trend. So you could be getting that push down to the lows, which form the next move up. Yeah, this is a nice push if you are in the sells. Again, the reason why, okay, so it is a counter trend trade. I didn't personally take the trade, but the reason why it makes sense is we had the support level. We retested it once we had closed below it, and then we formed weak support, and then now we're pushing below the support which had recently formed, and we have these clean candles to the left over here. So those are confluences basically. That is going against the overall structure trend which I have. That's why I didn't take it. Otherwise, this is the perfect setup. Almost at TP. Great. Hang in there then. It is a risky sell, but if you know how to manage a trade, risky sells and risky buys are, you know, you can make the most out of them. How's it, NM? How are you doing, bro? Welcome, welcome. Okay, Zeems, you should definitely be approaching your TP. I don't know what your entry is, but you should be approaching it. Lovely push. I'm great, thank you. Ready for this week's trading. That's my entry. Well, then you should definitely be close to. Just wondering if I should get $60 per month now or in Jan. Like I've said quite a few times before, I think December is the best time to learn how to trade because of the bad market conditions after this week. This is going to be the last good week. So if you do want to make the most of your December and you're going to have time to trade, of course, if you're going away in December or you're busy in December, it's probably not worth getting in December because, you know, you don't want to waste $60 of your money. So then go for it in January. But if you're going to have the time to learn in December and you want to kind of go into next year with some form of trading knowledge, especially like the way that we trade, then I would say it's worth getting it this month, but completely up to you. You need to have enough time. Zeems, if you are still in this trade, I definitely would be moving your stop loss to break even. TP hit, wonderful. Wonderful job. The advanced course, is it a PDF? So what it is it's all on a database on the website. So it's documents and videos and that sort of stuff. And then obviously with the advanced course, you get the one-on-one sessions. And then there's also the members group, which you can, or the members forum, should I say, which has a whole bunch of stuff in it. So there are some PDFs included, which is the documents, but the majority of the content is in video form, pre-recorded video form. And Zeems, you can ask him, he is one of the members. He has quite a lot of in-depth video stuff to get through. Well done, Zeems, on taking this trade. I'm also going to do a gold breakdown just now. Well, I can do it for you guys now, actually. From the weekly. Check WhatsApp, I'll check it now. Let me just break down gold. Okay, so with gold, the weekly time frame, we basically close this doji bearish candle, which means that by technicals, the structure of gold is bearish. And when you have such a weak close like this, although it is technically bearish, what I would do is say that the weekly structure is kind of invalid because it's not, you know, on some brokers, this will be a weak bullish candle because of the different price points and like the different prices that they get. So yeah, I would keep in mind that this is how it did close, but don't take into consideration really the bearish structure. So rather make it a three-way structure sort of point. So on the daily we're in this daily range. Now on gold, that's why gold price action at the moment is terrible. This daily range is shocking. As you can see, just bouncing up and down. It's like a daily washing machine. So we formed daily support obviously on a previous level of daily support on Friday, meaning that if we do finally get a close outside of this range, there's a good chance we'll continue bullish and maybe start correcting some of this move up which we had down. Drop down to a 4 hour. We can see as well, ranging kind of on the 4 hour, we have these levels to take into consideration here. This is our latest 4 hour resistance as well as our latest 4 hour support which formed at that level. Then we can drop down to the 1 hour and the 4 hour structure. The daily structure is still bullish, guys. The 4 hour structure at the moment, this would be our low. This is the point which created our low and we haven't had a close above that point, so it's still bearish. So it's bullish and bearish, and then the 1 hour structure is going to be this is our low, point which created the low, this is our high. So technically this is the point this is our highest point and this is the point which created it, so we're bullish until we get a close below that area. So you could say a 2v1 buyer's market. And then if you're going to take into consideration the weekly, you would say it's a 2v2. So buys or sells could play out. The problem with gold right now is this choppy price action, as you guys can see. So on gold, buys above this level are obviously looking a lot better up here, because then we have a lot more range to trade into. Whereas we take buys above here, we have this rejection wick, and then there is good range to trade into, but I'd be quite wary of that rejection area over there. So rather wait for a candle close above this level, and then we can definitely test this previous level of resistance. And then obviously if we're looking for sells, we would be adjusting this a little bit. So that's our lowest support or relevant support level. What we'd be waiting for is a close below this level, and then we can come down to this support, which isn't too far away. I think it's only about 14 or so pips. Yeah, okay, it's 23 pips. So you could technically sell into that level over there. There's enough range to trade into, but the much safer sells are of course going to be below this level down to about here. So if you are looking for buys and sells on gold, that's what I would be looking for. Just be wary of this range that we're currently in right now. If you drop down to 30 minutes, you can see this is not really a tradable range. So you got to be wary of that. Okay, thanks. I will wait till Jan. Yeah, no problem. Like I said, if you're going to be going away, there's no point in getting the course now, because you're just going to be wasting a month's worth of the membership. So rather wait till you have the time to put into doing the content and that sort of thing, and then you can go full steam ahead with it. GU sells. Let me check GU out. Similar idea to GJ, because you have this support level over here, and then you have obviously these clean candles to the left under this area. And then, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not invalid, but what I would do is, now that you've created the support level over here, I'd wait for this candle to close below that support level, wick up and push down, then it's a valid sell. And I think GU is a lot more bearish than GJ is, so this would be even better position. As you can see, we're basically correcting this move which we had up, and now we're coming down. Please remember to leave a like on the stream if you haven't already, guys, and sub if you aren't subbed. I would appreciate it. But yeah, that is basically my take on gold and GJ at the moment. Got no sales market open. Stop loss and profit, beautiful. If you can keep trailing that stop loss, that just makes a huge difference in profits, because then you just know you're never running a risk. So GJ, as you can see, still obviously in that bullish market structure. So if we can start popping back up above this level, we can definitely start looking for buys back up to the highs. And then buy continuations above this level at 155.72. We've got the clean candles to the left over here. So yeah, we can always look at those continuations. I am still bullish in market structure. Quite a strong bullish market structure bias for me. Which is why I didn't get involved in these sells, and I'm glad I didn't, because my entry on these sells would have only been below this support level over here, and that was only about 7 pips, so definitely not enough. I would be at the moment either in some decent drawdown, or I would have closed my position. And that's why I don't trade counter trends. Seems I know you must have got an early entry, but I just didn't want to risk it, especially because I count on structure so much that it just wasn't ever a thought for me to take that sell. If you are looking at gold, just wait for a candle close above or below these levels. 1788 and 1781. That'll give you a good sell entry or good buy entry if you get the candle confirmations as well. Imagine I never closed GJ. Exactly. Importance of either putting a stop loss at break even or just securing profits when you don't feel comfortable anymore. Because yeah, you would have come back down to more or less your entry points, and then with this flip and London Open coming up, if we get a wick down, there could be good possibility for bullish continuation. Also got these clean candles to the left. So now that we've formed some resistance within this 1 hour, if we break the 1 hour high, I could be looking for some very aggressive GJ buys. Even though we didn't respect the low of the previous candle, because my market structure bias is so bullish, I wouldn't be surprised if buys do play out. And then that, along with the clean candles that we have to the left over here, I'd be very interested in taking those buys. So just gotta wait and see. I want to see how this candle closes, because essentially this could just be a liquidity wick to continue bullish above this area over here. And if you see, that area is also the previous 1 hour high, which is where I was thinking about taking those buys. So just gonna have to wait. If we can also get a close back in this area over here, so let's say we close strong bullish, that essentially is a 1 hour fake out, and then there's a very good possibility of bullish continuation. I think I took that fake out trade on stream last week, and it was based on the same idea. Bullish in market structure, had a fake out to the bottom side, and then that way you can buy yourself back up to the top of the range, and then further continuations. So as you can see, we're getting a nice strong bullish push. If you guys have any charts, please send them through that you want me to check out, because I want you guys to start sending me charts instead of saying, can you check this chart or check this chart, because I want to see you guys analyzing some pairs, and then I can kind of show you where you're going wrong from my point of view. For now, gold, just wait. GJ is looking pretty decent to continue up. The 4 hour optimal entry for the risky sells would have been at a break of this 4 hour low, but of course then you're trading into a little bit of chop, so very, very risky. Any sells on GJ were going to be risky sells due to the market conditions and the market structure. Another thing that you need to look at here is this was once a point of resistance. We came down to that point over there. Thank you for the sub bit V. Thank you very much. This is one way of looking at it, guys. This is a point of previous resistance. We're in a bullish market. We came to that point and rejected it now. And now we're coming here and forming some support, which will also be support on the 1 hour if we close bullish. So it's quite a key level, and you need to think about it that way. That also indicates that there's a good chance that we're going to continue bullish. You made me scared. Well, it's a good thing that I did make you scared when you're in GJ sells, because if you didn't close your position, you would probably be in drawdown right now. And a good chance that if we get a close back up in this area, we're going to retest the highs of this range. Just remember, I made a whole video on the idea of fake outs and how to take fake out entries. So if we don't get a close back in here, it's still not technically a fake out. But if we get that wick down and then push up, we can still take buys above that level. That's what I'll be looking for. Yeah, you see, if you're taking counter trend trades, normally we look when we break support to test the previous support. But if you have a rejection level in between that level and you're taking a counter trend, there's a good chance previous rejections, like previous resistance, is going to turn to support, right? So this is a level of previous resistance. As you can see, we rejected that because we're in an uptrending market. We're in a bullish market. So that's a good way of seeing where price could possibly reject if you're in a counter trend trade. So rather make those sorts of areas where either you'll be securing some profits or shifting your stop loss. Yeah, you got to keep your eye on those levels. Gold is a mess and a joke right now. So definitely don't want to be trading gold. On gold, we just need to wait for candle closes, guys. And if you want to be even safer, you wait for higher time frame candle closes. Because like I said, although we have this rejection wick up here, if we can get a bullish candle close above this level and a retest of this zone, there's a good chance that we can have this sort of bullish continuation up to at least the 1790 area, 1792. Good morning, Sharif. Hope you had a good weekend. Sells, I mean, there's a lot less range to trade into for the sells. So if we're going to be waiting for a candle close for the sells, it's going to basically chew into some of the trading range which we have, which is why, you know, small ranges aren't advised to trade, because if you're going to wait for the candle close and then the break of the candle close below the level, then your trading range is probably going to be at least 2 or 3 pips less already from that. So that's why we try to look for those bigger ranges, so we can wait for the candle close confirmations and then continuations. So a candle close above this level will be a lot better, and buys will obviously be safer. But it is a 2v2 structure bias, so I'm just waiting for this 30 minute and 1 hour close on GJ. We have 2 minutes and 10 seconds until the next candle, which is also London Open. So yeah, just gonna wait for that. Not much we can do until then. If we do get a close back in this range, that will be perfect. And then yeah, hopefully test the top of the range again, so it'll look basically something like this. If we don't get that close though, what I'll be waiting for is a wick down, and with that London volume, a break above this level, and then obviously continuation to this resistance level, and maybe some new highs being created. Only looking at buys on GJ today. And if that means I miss the sells, it is what it is, you know. Wait, if I want sells, I want to see some structure flip to the downside, so some bearish structure, and then I'll take the sells either later on today or tomorrow, once I see some nice setups. GU got a nice rejection. Let me check it out. Don't have it on the watch list. Yeah, so GU playing into the exact same idea as GJ, you know, had that little fake out to bottom side, and then now pushing up. Look at candles, like candle formation wise, look how similar that candle is to the GJ candle. Sorry, this one. You know, very similar. But this is looking really good right now. We have about 20 seconds to go. First trade of the week if I do end up taking this buy, guys, so probably going to lower my risk and use a smaller lot. Doesn't look like we're going to get the complete fake out, but what I want to see as well is a bit of a bottom wick to give me a stop loss, and then a break above the level, of course. And not within the first few seconds either. As you can see, this is London Open, wicking up and down like a bit of a... You can see this 15-minute candle closed above a previous level of 15-minute resistance. So the idea is if you come down and create basically enough of a bottom wick, and as well, you don't want to take that trade when the candle breaks in the first few seconds, because there's a good chance it's going to come back down and establish that bottom wick and then continue bullish. So it's just about that patience to get that optimal entry, you know. Because but what the bottom wick does is it gives us a point for our stop loss. Otherwise, your stop loss, if you base the trade on, let's say, the 1 hour or the 30 minutes, is going to have to be below that level. also need to take into consideration levels, rejection levels on the 30-minute. So this is a 1 hour. This top one is the next 1 hour resistance. But as you can see on the 30-minute, there's this one. Because if we go up to the 1 hour, that's not resistance on the 1 hour. These are very, very aggressive buys, by the way, guys. Taken purely on the idea of, you know, it is market open, bullish market structure. Had this a previous level of resistance turned into some support, basically, and an expectation for price to just continue to these levels back up to the top of the range. We didn't technically get our fake out on the 1 hour, but it's a strong bullish, or decently strong bullish candle close after rejecting these levels over here. And obviously you need technical levels for a stop loss. Not a huge amount of volume in this London Open though. Could have something to do with us being in, you know, late December or mid-December. $155.72. Yeah, if you want to play the safer buys, guys, and make sure that GJ is going to stay in this bullish momentum and this bullish market structure, honestly, just take a buy above this level. Much, much safer. These are super aggressive buys if you are taking them. And it's almost based on London Open volume and market structure. Literally those two things. Because the candle confirmations weren't even great either. You had this candle not respecting this previous candle low, and then obviously you had this previous resistance level on the 30-minute time frame now becoming a support level. So yeah, if you aren't comfortable taking the aggressive entry, wait till 155.72. Also, you need to remember, if you are taking the aggressive entry, we have these resistance levels over here. So it's all about risk management if you are on this on this trade, and having a valid stop loss level and knowing when to close half and not to over manage. It's quite a lot of 5-minute resistance as well, which is just small areas where we could stall a little bit before going up, or where we could legitimately reject and continue bearish. See how gold's doing. Still stuck in this range. Definitely, if you are trading gold or like to trade gold, don't get involved in it now, because it looks terrible. Gold's horrible. Yeah, truly. If you look at fundamentals for today as well, guys, while we wait and see what GJ decides to do. Let me just reload that. We have hardly, this is tomorrow's fundamentals. We hardly have any. Okay, it looks like they've changed a few things here. This was different a couple of seconds ago. It looks like now they have some bank stress test results, which is some high impact news tonight only. So yeah, this is new news that they've announced, and Governor Bailey is speaking as well later tonight. So those are just, if you trade pound, any pound pairs, those are two things you got to look for. Other than that, nothing too much. Nothing too exciting. Tomorrow there is some PPI news on gold, so you need to be aware of that. Yeah, PPI and the core PPI, pretty important. was all yellow, exactly, seems. And now they've obviously announced a few more news events happening today. Wednesday there's Fed call about the inflation. Yeah, exactly. So these USD sort of things recently, especially here, federal funds rate is highly effective on gold. That's why I kind of use the gold index over here just as a, I don't trade with it or anything. I just use it as a indicator to see how the dollar is doing. GJ didn't get much London volume. But sometimes what happens if you don't get the volume on the London open candle, it comes on the following candle. On the 30, usually like 30 minutes after, around there. Please, if you haven't, guys, remember to leave a like on the stream and subscribe if you aren't subscribed. It's also CPI on Wednesday, guys, for GJ. So quite a lot of news coming up this week. Wednesday is stacked full with news. So if you're a fundamental trader, Wednesday's your day. The Feds have been talking a lot recently about tapering and all that sort of thing. So that's why the dollar has been gaining strength, is because they keep talking about tapering and how it's going to come into effect. But yeah, they go back on their word all the time. GJ not really doing much right now. Gold coming up to the 1788 level. No bottom wick on this candle yet though, so be aware of that. Your last week of trading for the year? I think so. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of content and stuff after this week when it comes to recording videos and going through some educational stuff. But I think trading wise, I'm going to look at the charts on Monday next week and just see how things are. But from my past experience, the 17th, 15th to the 17th is when the volume just dies down, because all the banks go on holiday, and when there's no banks, you know, doing their thing, the volume is a lot lower. I mean, the markets are always open, so if people are enticed to trade, then they are there to trade, but you're just going to be waiting a long time for moves to play out and that sort of thing, which isn't my style of trading at all. I like to trade the high volume times and then be in or out of moves, you know, very quickly. As we start to come up here on GJ. I did take the early entry or early-ish entry on GJ. So it was about at 290. But expecting a possible rejection at this point over here. And my stop loss is obviously below the current candle, so not risking a huge amount. Up quite nicely right now. Wanting to kind of take it up to the top of the range. But obviously I'm a bit wary of possible rejection levels. Like right now we're coming up to this 30-minute resistance. If we do come back to my entry now, I think I'll probably be closing a little bit of the position. Yeah, that's a nice little push that we had there, so I'm probably going to secure some profits there and move my stop loss to break even. I have a little runner left in. Yeah, in the buys, I will post my result on Instagram as always after this. But, and also the entry was explained if you are interested in seeing the idea behind the trade. I had a buy stop set at about 152.93, so a little bit higher than where this entry is. I will give you guys a full. Sorry, I'm not being active. I'm currently in a science session. No stress, no stress. I will give you guys a full breakdown of what happened here. Type A entry. Do you know what? It wasn't really a type entry. This just is more from experience and seeing this sort of stuff before. It's almost a type D, but what you needed to understand was we're in this strong bullish market, right? Our structural bias is 4v0. I was only looking for buys. I said that right at the beginning. I'm only interested in buys. And after seeing on the 30-minute time frame how we came down here, obviously this was that sell move that you wanted to get into or got into. We had this previous level of resistance, right? We are in a bullish market, so that is a level which we could definitely reject at, and we did reject at. What I then said was on the 1 hour time frame, if we get a break above this 1 hour candle, because there's minor resistance within this 1 hour candle, there's a good chance that we're going to go back up to the top of the range, and we are in this 4VO buyers market. So there's a lot more buyers in this market than there are sellers, which is why this is just based more on experience and seeing this sort of stuff before. We're also at this extremely high volume time. So we're at London Open, which is why I said I wanted a bottom wick to have a stop loss level, and then I was going to take the entry at the break of this candle high. You can go back probably, 10 minutes? When did London? 15 minutes, and it's all explained. And then I said we're going to be targeting this level, and we can obviously be worried about some resistance levels on the 30 minutes in this area over here. Was your stop loss at 150.110? It was directly below here, 150.223. Once we had established our bottom wick, which was this 5-minute candle, we also, that formed 5-minute resistance. So when we had broken above this level, like once this, because obviously my original stop loss was at a lower point, because we hadn't really established the technical level, but I didn't want it being all the way below the previous 1 hour candle. So it started off lower. So obviously, yeah, like you said, around 110, and then I shifted it up once we formed a technical level. My runner is still in. I have about 2 lots left on my runner in this position. So if anyone else did manage to get this trade, well done. These were the aggressive trades. Luke, I know you said you were going to wait till we are above the this level over here, which is fine, because what this is going to mean now, guys, if we get a close above this level, we've had this whole bearish kind of fake out early on in the day. And what that's telling us, if we get a close above this level, is that we are going to continue the bullish momentum. This is just the optimal entries. Also aggressive buys, remember? So there was quite a lot of risk in them. And I just had a buy stop at this level. Not as the candle form, because remember I said I don't want to be entered in within the first few minutes. And look, we broke this level within the first minute of that London candle. So what I waited was for that bottom wick to form, and then I put my buy stop in, and then we pushed up. If you are in this trade as well, it is probably worthwhile securing some profits and moving your stop loss to break even. I did so at about 10 or so pips. GU had the exact same setup. Let me check. Yeah, same setup. Had that bearish push this morning. As you can see, the 30 minutes is certainly bullish in market structure due to this high, this being our high, this is the point which created the high. So we're still bullish above here. The 1 hour would have looked the exact same. So I certainly wouldn't say this is an easy entry, guys. This was based off of experience and just knowing high volume times. And then obviously being aware of these previous levels of resistance. And the main thing for me was market structure. I understood before taking any trades today, all I'm looking for is buys. And you guys can see that at the beginning of the stream. That's what I said, especially when talking to Zeems when I found out he took the sells. I said, all I'm interested in is buys. I did the market structure breakdown. We were 4VO buyers, bias. So I only had a buying bias, which is why I didn't take any of these sells, although I had a perfect type B setup, which is the break and retest on consecutive candles. Because at the end of the day, market structure is more important than almost your setups, because what it means is that, let's say you get this perfect setup, what it's trying to do is entice the sellers to come into the market. So what that's going to do is, by getting sellers on board, it's going to push price down a little bit, but not quite enough. And then this is where the people who take the earlier moves and who understand the market structure are going to be able to take the buys at the lowest possible point. For me, it was over here. So these sorts of setups in counter trending markets basically entice sellers to take the sells, or if it's a bearish market, entice buyers to take the sells, drive price up a little bit, and then sellers will have a more optimal level to take the sells. I'm just gonna secure some more of my position because we're stalling at this level. So at the moment I secured another 1 lot there, and we have a 1 lot left in this trade. My original position was a 15 lot. So like I said, lower risk than usual, because I don't know if you guys follow me on the Instagram, which is in the description if you want to follow. And also there's a free Telegram in there as well, guys, if you want to follow that or join that. I usually do take about a 20 or so lot, but first trade of the week, you always want to lower your risk a little bit. Because if things do go wrong, and they they often can on your first trade of the week, then at least you're not risking as much. So what's good to see about this, so guys, is we pushed straight through this resistance level, meaning that this was probably the likely level that we were going to retest. And that's also a 1 hour resistance level. I will do a breakdown video on YouTube about this trade later, because I really do like the setup of this trade. And I think that it is something that you pick up on with experience, and it's definitely not an easy trade. It's quite a high level trade, quite an advanced trade, because of the lack of confirmations. You had to know how to understand market structure to get this trade. Gold wise, stay away from gold until these levels. But I hope some of you did manage to get these buys on GJ, or at least understand now how these buys were taken, because that's the next best thing, or possibly even the more important thing, so that in the future you will be able to take similar positions. What would have made this an even a higher confirmation setup is if this 1 hour candle had closed back in this level, making it a proper fake out. And that would have, been an added confirmation to us continuing to the top of the range, because that's what happens in fake outs. And we spoke about this last week in the streams. I got it and still in. Perfect. I hope you have secured some profits or moved your stop loss to break even. But yeah, really, really nice job. Another way of me explaining this, guys, is buying at the lows in an uptrending market. You always hear people saying, buy at support or sell at resistance, but they do it in the wrong markets. And I talk about this quite a lot as well. So they'll say, buy at support in a market looking like this. Now what's going to happen is, this is a bearish market for sure, right? You're going to have your support level over here, and they're going to say, now they'll see support form. and then they'll see a lower high, something like this. I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. So now all the buyers are getting happy because now we have a higher low, and they think, okay, now we have a higher low. This is a great opportunity to get the earliest possible buys. But this is the point of market structure transition, because if this is our low and this is the point that created the low, we're only going to be bullish above here. So by taking the buys from down here, it's a counter trend trade. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to go a little bit in profits like you see here, and everyone's going to get happy, probably add some positions, and then all you're going to do is get this little fake out and continue the trend. So that's the importance of understanding market structure. You only want to be buying at support in a market that looks like this. Because by doing this, you're in an uptrending market. These are your high points. So these are the points which created the high. And then you're often going to form support at previous key levels. So when you come here and form the support here, then you know you can buy at the support level to retest the high, which is here, and retest new, and then make newer highs. So higher highs. So that's why buying at support in an uptrending market and knowing what an uptrending market is so important. And selling at resistance in a downtrending market. Otherwise, it's pointless. You're just going to go a little bit into profit, then back into drawdown, because it's going to continue its trend. That's why for me in a market like this, like we have over here, what I would like to see is obviously when this downtrending market, and we'll get the structure flip above this level. So I'd like to obviously see the structure flip here. But now to get up to this point, obviously you're missing your optimal entries, right? Because that's all here. But taking those entries is counter trend, so it's going to be high risk. So what you want to do is wait for a candle close above this level. So now we're bullish to market structure. Then we come back down to this point of previous resistance, wait for it to turn to support. Then all we're going to do is look for buys up to the new high that was created. That way we're not getting involved in this area here, because there's obviously going to be exhaustion. So if you take buys at these levels here, you're eventually going to get up to this, reject, and come back down into drawdown, and now you're going to be stressing. So rather wait for us to create the high, also be bullish in market structure, come down to this this point of previous resistance, turn it into support, resistance turn to support, and then take buys back up to the top and to create new highs. So I know that's quite a lot of information there, and it can be confusing if you have no idea, you know, what structure is or how to identify structure correctly. But that is basically, you know, trading 101. You need to learn that stuff at the beginning of your trading sort of journey or your trading career. Otherwise, you're just going to be selling and buying at the wrong points. And not a lot of people teach structure correctly, and it's something that I focus on a huge amount. And it basically allows you to get moves like this, you know. So many people would have been faked out into these sells and probably still holding them. So yeah, that was just a little bit of education done there for the stream. So if there's one thing you can take out of this, it's structure is key. And, you know, identify structure before you start any day. When the first thing I do when I come into the charts is work out my structural buys. Because then for me, there's no point in even like thinking that, okay, this is our low support. We have clean candles here. I'm going to think of potential sells below this level. Because we were so strong bullish in market structure, I'm not even thinking sells. And I do understand, of course, you can counter trend trade, and it's not like they always don't work out. But they're a lot less probable. And like I've always said, trading is probability. You take a trade entry based on probability, because no one knows for sure price is going to come up to this point over here. But if you're in an uptrending market, there's a higher probability than price going down to this point over here. So you just need to understand probability. And probability comes from things like confluence, setups, all plays a part. quite a small runner position left in that trade, guys. So not too worried if price does come back down to my entry point, which is now my stop loss. But yeah, that's the importance of also securing profits. Because if, let's say, you're in this much profit and you end up coming back down to either your entry or to a worse point than your entry, and you haven't secured any of this, you're going to be feeling terrible. And as you can see, these are points of, these are key levels, you know, 30-minute resistance. That's pretty high or pretty strong resistance levels. It's not like it's a 5-minute resistance where you can just break through it with volume. And that's the importance of supports and resistance. Why do you think we're rejecting this area? Because we're at a resistance level. So if you can, just for me, I have points where I like to secure certain percentages of positions. So obviously 10 pips for me is a pretty key level. Obviously, if we have a lot of trading range, I'll let it run sometimes 15, 20 pips my first position, but then what I'll always do is move my stop loss to break even so that the trade is running risk free. Otherwise, yeah, 10 pips for me is where I always normally secure about 80 to 90% of my position, and then leave a runner in, and then the stop loss goes to break even. Always. It's a great way of having, you know, such safe, risk-free trades past a certain point. And again, this is that resistance level on the 1 hour, so it makes a lot of sense why we're coming back down and rejecting it. What we'll need to see for continuations is a strong bullish candle close, and then eventually getting up above this level, and then something like that. Gold in the washing machine? It is in the washing machine. And when gold gets in these, it's not fun. And the problem is, it's not even above this level that we really have like purely clean traffic, because again, we have this rejection level, and you do need to be wary of those rejection levels. It's like a wick, rejection wick. So yeah, if you guys have any charts though, please do send it through. Or any more questions, because yeah. Otherwise, we're just going to have to wait for either another move. Done trading NAS. Yeah, I'm very happy with the pairs that I trade. I only trade 2, which is gold and GJ. But I mean, when I used to trade Nasdaq, I used to do really well with it. But it's not the most consistent pair in the world, and you know the price action on Nasdaq is a little hectic. Took 2 trades today. I'm done for the day. That is a great mentality and a great. I'm very happy to hear that, Zeems, because the old Zeems would have taken 30 trades today. But now, Zeems, what you need to do is either backtest or go through all of the content again, because that's the only way you're going to improve. Like, I know you won that sell in GJ this morning, you won that trade, but ideally I wouldn't want to see you even taking that trade, and I would want to see you taking a pretty similar position to what I took, because it was so counter trend. You know, taking a sell here in a 4VO market is not something I definitely didn't teach you that. But yeah, Nasdaq, yeah, I used to have fun trading it. I'm backtesting, good. I mean, you can see here, once we break above this 4-hour level, which we're currently in, it's just going to be easy buys back up to the all-time highs. And how NASDAQ works is, you know, it seems this whole year it's created new highs, and then we have these periods of consolidation once we've had a little pullback, and then we retest the highs. You know, it seems to always happen. But you can see here, this is a strong area that we're in. We've had this consolidation level here before, and now we're back in it. Oh no, that was a counter trend, but you said if there was a nice perfect candle confirmation, you would take it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was good candle confirmation, but what candle confirmations can do again is fake out the counter trend traders, so it drives price down. Now, like I said to you, if or like I told you, you must secure profits, because you said to me, if you didn't secure profits, you would have still been in that trade and now been in about, I think you said you took it around here, you would have been in, you know, at the peak 26 pip drawdown, and no one likes being in an even 5 pip drawdown. So if you are trading NASDAQ, I mean, you could just wait for a close above this level on either the low time frames, or just wait for the close on the 4-hour time frame, same as the sell levels, because as you can see, like, this clean traffic is pretty good, and this level that we're at right now, it's one of those levels that once you break out either side, it's just going to go to either the next resistance or next support. Again, we are at the moment bullish in market structure. So if you break below the lows here, you can probably come to these levels, because if you're in a counter trend trade, you're probably going to, instead of breaking through support, going through to a previous level of support at the low levels, probably going to break through support and go to previous levels of resistance, because it's counter trend. So it's basically going to be resistance turned to support. But buy wise, I would say if we get a candle close above here, you can definitely come and retest the highs at some point, probably on the higher time frame, so maybe the 4-hour time frame, because it's a much higher confirmation, much more confidence to it. But I don't trade NAS. That's just my view on it. Check gold. Yeah, gold's coming up now, which is great. Just got to be patient with gold, because again, you don't want to take a breakout with this wick here, this rejection wick. You want to wait for a candle close, because essentially that's your highest level candle close, also above the highest current resistance level. So what that's going to mean is that there's a good chance that if you get that candle close above that level, so basically something like this, come back down and retest this zone, we can get that continuation up, you know. And we have the clean candles on the 1 hour as well. And it's a 2v2 market price. Please remember to leave a like on the stream, guys, if you haven't. And subscribe if you're on sub. There's also a free Telegram group in the description and Instagram, and I post a lot of stuff in both of those. You know, chart analysis. In the Telegram, the group chats quite a lot about possible trades, that sort of stuff. And yeah, on the Instagram, I post quite a lot about breakdown and post-trade analysis and all that. So a lot of free information. Is your runner still in? My runner currently is still in, yeah. Don't forget to like the stream, please, boys. It helps a lot and it is free. Runner's still in, but my entry was at 293. So if you come back to that level, I'll be stopped out. which it looks like we are coming back down towards. Okay, so there's my runner stopped out. And the reason that that doesn't matter is because I'd secured about 95% of my position. At first 90% was at 10 pips, second 90 was at this resistance level. So I'm not worried at all. I had a 15 lot open. I closed 13 lots at 10 pips, and I closed another 1 lot of the 2 lot runner a little bit higher. So of course this was a little bit of a low risk trade because I lowered my lot size from my usual lot size, but I will post on the Instagram. I'll put it on my story just now. I'll put it on now, the position which I took. So now we can take that away. Gold pushing nice. Yeah. Just wait for that candle close. Don't even try to take an impulse. And to be honest, if there is an impulse, so type A basically, and the move is missed, so I definitely won't be looking for any impulse entries over here. Where's this tool? What I'll be looking for is obviously this push. So say we miss the initial push, wait for this area of previous resistance to become support, and then what we can do is wait for some resistance within that support, and then that continuation to the top of the previous high that was created, and then further continuations and creating new highs. That is my thoughts on gold. If we don't get this first candle close, where in that case it'll be a type B entry, and it'll look something like that. Entry above this level over here. How's it, David? How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Sorry guys, just posting the trade taken today on Instagram. Okay, that's sorted. Other than that, guys, I'm going to be looking for buy continuations on GJ throughout the day. Why don't you trust a South African broker? Not that I don't trust South African brokers, but basically the first person that I ever heard about Forex from, who was a really good Forex trader, he advised IC Markets to me. So I've always been with them. And I've been with him for quite a while now, so it's not that I don't trust South African brokers. It's just I much prefer the IC Markets. I've never had a problem with them. So like I said, with IC Markets deposits, they don't take percentage on deposits, and they don't take long for withdrawals either. Sometimes it's like 5 to 10 days, I would say, is my history with withdrawals with them. Slippage wise, I've only been slipped on one NFP with them, and I've done a lot of NFPs. So yeah, it's a raw spread account, so I want the best possible spreads because of the way that I trade. So I always get really good prices. But there are a few. I'm pretty sure there's a few good South African brokers. What's up, Sakota? How you doing, boy? I did post the trade on my Instagram story if you guys want to go check that out. Yeah, to be honest, David, I have had a few people who have told me that the percentages that they take from your deposit on South African brokers are ridiculous. So you'll deposit, let's say 10K, for example, and they'll take like 2 of that 10K as a deposit fee. And in my opinion, that's just like ridiculous. And to be honest, this whole story about regulated and unregulated brokers, it's not that important. All that does is it limits your leverage. So a regulated broker can obviously only leverage up to a certain point, whereas an unregulated broker can obviously leverage a lot higher. So everyone who says, unregulated broker, you can't trust them. There are some unregulated brokers out there that are trustworthy, I'm pretty sure Roger Banks's broker, Dominion Markets, is unregulated, and that's one of the best brokers there is. So, but if I could advise one broker, it would be IC Markets, guys. I've never had a bad experience with them. Have you taken anything? Yeah, took GJ buy. It is on my Instagram story if you want to go check it out. And the Instagram link is in the description. Just waiting for buy continuations, more or less. It's also a free Telegram, guys, if you want to join that. Gold coming up towards the top of the range, this resistance level, still waiting for a close. Check WhatsApp. I have nothing on my WhatsApp. I'm gonna go. Thanks for the stream again. No problem. Thanks for the support, Dux. Thanks for being in the stream. Hope you learned something today. The story is not up apparently. Oh, because it still says uploading. It should be up now, guys. I don't know why it was stuck on that uploading thing. Thanks for the stream. No problem, no problem. Rank, I just checked your WhatsApp. Do you not have Wi-Fi, my man? Okay, no stress. Nice 18K in the bag. Yeah, it was a good trade. Very happy with the outcome. And I mean, first trade of the week. Don't even have DSTV. News-wise, guys, our biggest news day of the week is most probably going to be this Wednesday, I think. I've only looked up to Wednesday. But tomorrow we have PPI on USD, so you need to be wary of that if you do trade gold or any dollar-related pairs. Then Wednesday, as you can see, is a massive news day. These federal funds rates is huge. If they chat more about tapering, and the tapering is actually going to go ahead, the dollar is going to strengthen a lot and gold's going to crash. A few people have been talking about that recently, and that's basically what the Feds have been talking about for a long time. but those guys are inconsistent and lie a lot. Then, as you can see on Thursday, there is some massive pound news. So bank rates. Take into consideration these forecasts have been wrong a lot before, guys. So I do use Forex Factory to see what the news events are going to be, but these forecasts I don't take too seriously because they sometimes, I'm sure they pull these out of who knows where. So yeah, Thursday as well. There's a lot of red files this week. Friday looks like it's not too bad. Retail sales. FOMC took me for a ride. Yeah, to be honest, FOMC's taken a few people for a ride. Similar to NFP. Yeah, Ronin I think's been taken for a ride on every news event that there is on dollar and pound. So guys, I won't even be looking for potential sells below this level. Again, if the only way that sorry, let me just refresh this, it's lagging a little bit. So the only way sells become valid again is if we come up here and create a new high and then come back below this level, because then structure will have flipped bearish, right? Because if we have this high created up here and this is our previous 2-leg pullback, so that's going to be classed as the area which created the high, which is this level over here, and this will be a level of then support turn to resistance, and then we can sell back down to lower points. So Koto, are you also in the course? Yes, Ranko does do the course. It's just at the moment he's being quite lazy and is on holiday. Ranko before he stopped, before he stopped trading a lot, was actually making some good progress. But then, yeah, gold, gold stuck in this daily range as well, which is not great. Doesn't look good on the 4-hour either, like you can see here. The only thing which makes both buys and sells valid is the market structure at the moment. But I want to kind of see a 1-hour candle close for extra confirmation, because a 1-hour candle close is pretty strong. Yeah. It's just stuck in this range. I wouldn't be interested in taking a gold buy or sell in this range, unless we create a clean move like down, and then that creates some clean candles, and then we start getting, you know, some further corrections back up to the top of the range. Change the color of this. Best 330 trade of all time. Your 330 record is quite good. Lucky but good. So this is, if you check the news this morning, guys, this was not stated here, nor was this. So this is newly announced stuff, these high impact files. So this could also throw a bit of a curveball at GJ. Not too sure what's going to happen with these as well. They don't have numbers for these, so then it's pure just going off of what it says. But these are outside of my trading hours. Like, I would definitely won't be trading this news. Rather just stick to, I have taken the winning trade this morning, but I do kind of want to do a members New York call today because I didn't get much time to do any New York sessions last week. So yeah, are you going to trade New York? Yeah. So I kind of do want to do something with the members. See who's available. If there's not enough of them available or that want to trade it, then I'll just leave it. Ranker, I would not take trading advice from you if someone paid me to. So yeah, very slow at the moment, guys. We had this nice GJ move. You can see now this candle is still trying to close strong bullish. This is basically the new 30. This is a candle that stopped me out at break even, stopped my runner out, which my entry was about here, which is unfortunate because it looks like we could continue back up to the top of this range, but let's see how it goes. No, I was just joking, okay, I was just joking. Otherwise, gents, I'm pretty sure we are going to get some bullish momentum going on GJ. If we do get a bearish push, it's probably going to be this news later. Like, let's say they start talking about some nonsense again. There's a lot of talk going on about like COVID, the new variants, and the UK is always in the middle of this stuff. So they go out and they say a bunch of nonsense, and then the pound crashes a little bit, and you have like these strong bearish moves because they go and like say some stupid stuff, and then it gets priced into the currency. So that's why, the news has always been what gives GJ its volatility. And then obviously the yen is like a safe haven currency, or known as a safe haven currency. So yeah, just be careful with the news coming up later that we could have, this Governor Bailey saying something ridiculous, and that's going to send GJ down. Same as these are more facts and like numbers based, so this is not going to be, they can't be as something and make something up. But this, when these people speak, you got to be careful. Otherwise, yeah, it should be, like I said, I showed you guys the weekly. We formed this weekly support level, which is a support level which we've tested 5 times before and rejected at. So now that we've actually formed proper support on the weekly, and we know how strong a weekly support level is, it's one of the strongest levels, same as like a weekly resistance. So if we can get a break above the high of this weekly candle, there's a very good chance that we're going to retest this weekly resistance level. And then if we're going to get continuations to the top of the range, then obviously we're going to have to, on the lower time frames, get some pushes above this level over here, because again, as strong as a weekly support level is, a weekly resistance level is as strong. So yeah, it's just a matter of waiting. The only problem is now, guys, this is probably going to be the last good week of volume in the markets because of the amount of holidays coming up, banks are closing, that sort of thing. But yeah, just wait. If you do trade a lot of fundamentals, this week is a banger of a week for you because the amount of news is scary. Yeah, honestly, this is a terrible, like, gold looks terrible. And the problem is, even if we pop up above this range on gold, we have all these rejection levels over here. So that's why gold at the moment is just not ideal. You'll see the way that the weekly candle closed as well, where this previous week closed like a doji bearish candle, which is why I said to a couple of people, like if you look at structure the way I look at it and you look at the previous weekly candle for your structure on the weekly time frame, this is kind of invalid because it's like a doji. On some brokers and like some people who provide the pricing and liquidity, this is this will show as a bullish candle. So yeah, just something to take into consideration. Are you into NFTs? Yeah, I got into one, but you know, not hectically into it. It's pretty good industry to be in. Like now's a good time to get involved in it. Well, in my opinion. Want to buy a few NFTs? Yeah. I mean, it's a good investment, especially in today's day and age. Just with the way things are going. What time is he speaking? 7:30. And I mean, here they don't even say much about it. More hawkish than expected is good for currency. Well, they haven't even given us the previous numbers. So that's why this guy's probably just going to make up some information. Yeah, the problem is finding an upcoming one. Because, you know, it's a lot easier said than done. But it's definitely doable. You just need to find someone who's like into the industry and like into the scene, and then they can maybe like tip you off on one that they think has potential. Still waiting for a project so I can cop that commission. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, the established ones are expensive. Like the good ones go for a few thousand Ethereum, which is like hundreds of thousands of rands, if not more. But like I said, that's the whole reason of getting in with the earlier ones, or the ones that like still need to be minted, that sort of thing, and like they basically predicted to go up in price. That's when you need to hop on board. Okay. Releasing on the 17th, so in 4 days. What's up, Raz? How you doing? So again, we can see why GJ rejected this price. Previous 1 hour resistance and 30-minute resistance level. So we're basically still stuck in this range, but obviously the buys worked out perfectly. I'm good, thanks to yourself, Raz. All good. Took some GJ buys this morning at London Open. Worked out perfectly. $0.03 Ethereum. That's I mean, if that like ends up going up like pretty nicely in price, I guess you can make some decent return. Please remember to leave a like if you haven't already, guys. Would appreciate it. Would that be a good GJ sell? I mean, yeah, like I said earlier, I'm not interested in sells at all on GJ. So even though like if we form some resistance at this level and continue down, I still want to see that structure flip first. And the only place we're getting that structure flip is below this point. So essentially what you'll then be looking at is something that looks like this. And what I'll get involved on then is the second push. Although like obviously everyone wants to sell at the highest point possible. Like for me, if it's against trend, I'm definitely not going to be comfortable selling at that point. So what I'll wait for is for structure to flip below this level. And this was once a level of support. Now if that level of support turns into resistance and we flip bearish in structure, then we can sell back down to the low that flipped us bearish in structure. So basically getting involved in the second leg and then continue bearish, create new lows, if that makes sense. So you basically, if you want to take sells, me personally, if you base it on structure, I'm only going to sell below that area over there. So just patience. And that's why, I mean, yeah, you'll never see me on the wrong side of structure or taking a trade, like a counter trend trade more or less. And it's very, very rare that you'll see me taking a counter trend trade. Just not really my style of trading. Probably going to be live for about another 10-15 minutes, guys. There's just not a lot happening right now. Like I said, took a trade already this morning. We have nothing happening on gold, literally. One of the worst pairs to trade right now, just because of the daily range that we're in. And I mean, we're back in this level of consolidation. You can see when we were in this level earlier or last week, and now we're in this area again. It's just you bounce up and down. It's like a delayed washing machine here. We were in it once and we're back in it now. Had to rewash. Didn't do the job properly. So yeah, we're going to wait for a break above this level. So it'll either look something like this where we get that strong push and then come back down and continue. Or it's going to look something like this where we get a close above and then we get involved in that push to the top side. And the reason why we'll be comfortable with that is because we'll close above a point of resistance. We have these clean candles to the left to trade into, so the price shouldn't really reject within that area. And then we're going to either want to create a new high or we're just going to want to continue going bullish. But you must be aware that once we break above this level over here, there's a good chance that at some point we're going to retest it. Which is why if we do get that type A entry, or what's also known as impulse entry, it could look something like this. Don't get worried if you miss this original push right here. So don't get worried if you miss this and try to get involved in those levels over there. Rather wait for us to retrace. So come back down to this level, which was once resistance. Let it form some support. And then obviously within that support have some resistance. And then retest the highs and continue further bullish. Much, much safer. I'm probably only taking one trade today. GJ buy, yep. Honestly, the importance of just knowing where you want to trade is huge. If you tell yourself that, yeah, I'm taking one trade today and you wait for that setup and you don't get FOMO by seeing other setups, then you're going to be fine. You're not gonna be enticed into taking other trades because it's not in your trading plan for the day. It's not in your area of wanting to take a trade. So for you, your area is this over here, and you don't want to take a trade anywhere else. Now, the only other way I can think of if you want to take possibly a riskier entry is, let's say we get back involved in this range and we continue doing this, so rejecting the highs and the lows is on these ways back up because we're bullish in market structure. Look for an entry. If we get a drop, a pullback basically from the highs with clean candles like we had over here, what you can do is wait for the support to form at the bottom of the range, and then within that support some resistance, and then take it back up to the top, and then eventually you could get that push. Because, I mean, yeah, GJ could very easily range until New York session. So it's just all about patience at this point. But yeah, gold is a tragedy. And then again, guys, please, if you are going to trade it, watch out for this area here. Because that is a rejection wick which can cause a lot of people headaches. Because if you do try to take the impulse entry and then come up and start rejecting this area and then we end up faking out and coming back into here, you could find yourself back down here. And if you're not managing the trade or closing the trade or don't stick to your stop loss, you could find yourself in a solid amount of drawdown, 70 odd pips. So you need to be careful of that. So we either need a proper break and retest or a close above this level and then a push up. That's the two main options. Otherwise, the impulse is going to happen and then we can get involved on the second point of the impulse. Staying as far away as possible from gold. Yep. I mean, yeah, certainly not until I'm either above or below these areas. Also, what you could wait for, if you want to play it safe, guys, is I know there probably will definitely be a move before this time tomorrow, before 3:30. But you need to understand that this move here could break us out of this consolidation, and then we could have that continuation in whatever way the news takes us. So you need to be aware of that. Other than that, washing machine here, washing machine here. Very, very unfortunate situation. But yeah, I'll probably be, I don't see much happening, so I'd say I'm going to call it a day in 5 minutes for the stream, guys. So if you have any charts or have any questions, or want me to check out any pairs for you guys, please let me know within like the next few minutes, and then I can do that before I head. Please check pound AUD, no problem. I'll do that. Pair that I used to trade but no longer trade. AUD. Thank you very much for the sub. Alan, I do appreciate that. Sorry, my Streamlabs wasn't showing properly. Okay, so gonna break it down structurally and mark out some zones if you are interested. So the previous week obviously closed strong bearish, so the weekly market structure is bearish. Drop down to the daily, we obviously have this daily support level, but our structure is bearish as well on the daily because we have this high. This is a point which created the high, we got to close below that level. This is our new low. This is a point which created the low. So at the moment it's two time frames, two key time frames of bearish in market structure. You also have the support level, remember. Now we drop down to the 4 hour. You can see we're ranging a bit on the 4 hour. This is more or less our range that we're stuck in. We have obviously formed some 4 hour resistance recently at the top. We're also bearish in market structure on the 4 hour. This was our high, point which created the high. We got to close down here. This is our low. This is a point which created the low. So we're going to be bearish until we're above that point over there, unless we create a new low, and then we'll be bearish until above this point over here. So 3v0 bearish in market structure. As you can see, there's also quite a bit of ranging happening on this pair. Then obviously we're going to drop down to our lowest time frame for the marking out of zones, and again ranging. The market structure on this one's a little bit tougher to work out. We have, this would be classified as our low, point which created it, high up here, point which created it, low, point which created it, high, low. So this is also bearish market structure. So it's a 4v0 sellers market. So what you want to do is obviously be looking for sells only, unless you get that market structure flip on multiple time frames. You're at the top of the range now, so what I would be looking for is you've had this resistance form over here. You have these clean candles to the left over here. If you reject this area, which it looks like you're doing, wait for some minor support to break below here and take some sells down to this area over here, because that's going to be easy sells. You know, you're in such a bearish market and you have clean range down to this point over here. Otherwise, what I'll do is wait for some candle closes below this area, and then you can also trade down to this area down here. Again, clean candles to trade into. I wouldn't be looking for any buys just purely because of market structure. And I mean, you have some good selling opportunities, you know. On the 50-minute, you can probably identify some support. So you have a support level right here. And then, like I said, from that support level, which is also the bottom of that resistance which was formed, you can probably get some sells down to this point over here. This is what I would call a type D entry, where you're in a downtrending market, you form some resistance. Within that resistance, you form some support, and then you're going to come down to the lows. So sells on GA. So I hope that helps you out. Thanks for the stream, no problem. Yeah, I'll probably be in a couple of minutes, guys. So any last questions, any last requests, and I'll try to help you out as much as possible. Cheers, Luke. Have a great rest of your day. Good luck with the rest of the trading if you are going to take any trades today. Again, for GJ, look at that level up here if you want to take some buy continuations. So I hope anyone who was looking at pound AUD took into consideration that breakdown. And yeah. Just a quick question, other videos and Ward. They are on a database. So what you need to do is, when you obviously pay for the course, you get access to the database and you watch all the stuff from the website. So on the website, which is the King's Capital website, this one over here, you'll, once you pay for obviously either of the courses, you'll unlock the content for each course. And then I don't know if they are downloadable. I don't think they're downloadable. I'll have to check the database and how it's been programmed. But so far from what I know is you watch it live on the website. Obviously the Word formats, the documents are downloadable because they're in PDF form and Word form as well. So yeah, those can be downloaded. I'm not too sure about the videos. Okay guys, so I think that is going to be me for today, me for the stream. I'm going to obviously chat to some of the members and see if anyone's down for a New York session later this afternoon. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know if I will be taking any more trades today. Already took a GJ win this morning. Nice buys. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for everyone who supported the stream. If you haven't already, please do leave a like on the stream. And have a great rest of your day. Trade safely. If you're looking at GJ, remember buys above this level. And if you're looking at gold, please wait for it to break out of the range. And yeah, that is about it. I hope that you guys have a great day. And I'll see you exactly the same time tomorrow. And members, I'll chat to you at a later stage if any of you are in the stream. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it a lot. And yeah, see you tomorrow.